Hello, everyone. I'm Barbara Alfors with ICF's education team, ICF Colorado's education team, and I'm here with Christine Walsh today. We're chatting about the webinar we're going to have on March 5th at 11:30 a.m. So Christine, tell me a little bit about how you got into what you're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me here. And I'm excited to be part of this training on money and energy. So I didn't start out in money and energy. I started out in money and boots on the ground. I grew up in New York and worked down on Wall Street for about 11 years, 12 years, and realized that there was more to life than just working in Manhattan and building a business that way and building a career that way. So I moved out to Colorado and about 15 years ago, and I decided that I wanted to, investment banking wasn't really a big thing. I'm up in a small ski town in Northwest Colorado. So I went into some more entrepreneurial pursuits and did some accounting and some bookkeeping for business owners here in town, and realized during the recession of 2008 that I was having my own financial debacle. So with that said, I realized that all the book smarts, all the education that I had around finance and accounting didn't really serve me in my emotional well-being around money. And I think for many of us, money's in a very emotional topic. I mean, it's tough to have conversations around it sometimes. And I mean, it's the number one reason why people get divorced. So there is a lot of emotion around it. And so that's what really started to intrigue me when I was having my own stuff going on around money. And I was supposed to be the money expert. Start to study that psychology of money and that the emotional energetics around money, and realize that that really is that precedes any of the strategy, that precedes any of the practical tactical stuff. And so that's when I decided to do my own personal development journey around this, and started studying to be a coach and learning to ask important questions around this topic. And the rest is history. Now I'm serving people one-on-one and group, and being able to talk to people like who we're going to talk to next week in some trainings and workshops to think about money in a different way.
Great. So what do you find especially valuable about the work you're doing?
Well, like I said, I think that we need to start looking at money in a different aspect. We have been working in an old paradigm around money of, if you want to make money, you got to work hard, you got to hustle. And don't get me wrong, I'm a New Yorker at heart, so I'm a hustler. There's no doubt about it. But I also believe that the way our mindset, our attitudes, the stories we tell ourselves about money are showing up first. And if we are unaware of those, we get hooked into that in every corner we turn, because money is such a part of every aspect of our lives. So in our businesses and as coaches, it's in a sales conversation. It can show up when we're talking to our clients, and our clients are perhaps having money challenges in their world. And so as coaches, I feel like it's really important for us to have our money stuff shored up and clear. I mean, you don't have to go as deep as I've gone in my research and training and study, but enough to know, okay, I may have had some money stories. I want to address them. Just even becoming aware of them is important. And then I can start to navigate this in a more clean and clear way. And in turn, support my clients in that conversation as well.
Wonderful. So we have our webinar next week, March 5th. And what can people expect to take away from that?
Yes. So like I said, one of the things that I'm so passionate about is this idea of the energy of money and how we show up to it. So we'll be just kind of uncovering some attitudes and belief systems that really are not super supportive for having a really amazing relationship with money. And I use that word relationship pretty, I can underline that, because I do believe we are in relationship with this entity called money, just like we are in relationship with ourselves, our wellness and our health, as well as other people. And the question that I will offer everyone is, if we considered this a relationship, how might we be describing it right now? How might some of our listeners be describing it? And what do you want that relationship to look like?
Mm-hmm.
So we'll be tapping into some energy around the idea of money. When I think of energy, I think of state, like our being, who we're being around money, again, our attitudes, our thoughts, our feelings around money. So we'll be tapping into that so that we can shore that up, so that the practical, tactical, and I know from my clients, people who it's like going on a diet. You never want to go on a diet until you realize what's the underpinnings of why you want to go on a diet, or why you're overweight or underweight, or however. The same thing. It's like we don't start with just a budget, which is how a lot of money coaches, as much as just out in the world, it's like, all right, you need to straighten out your money. Let's look at your spending plan. Where can you cut back? As coaches, we are always looking for expansion. We are looking for new angles and new perspectives, and kind of opening up the lenses here so that we can have more possibilities. And I impart that to my, anyone who wants to join us, is what's a new way to look at money that actually inspires you to create more in your life, maybe spend more, maybe give more, receive more, all the different ways that we work with money in our businesses. And I do believe it's a spiritual path, because it really shows us where our biggest fears are. So
Mm-hmm.
we'll be looking at some of that, as well as ways to dissolve some of these patterns that have been probably, maybe I would say decades, because many of our stories come from when we're kiddos. So
Mm-hmm.
starting to break that down. So there'll be some great tips and tools and takeaways of, this is a new way to look at money. Like, let's do this differently. And really feel empowered to shift your relationship with your money.
Wonderful. Well, I know our ICF Colorado members love to get into exploration and diving deep, and this sounds like it'll be a great addition to all of our tools.
Yes.
So everyone, if you'd like to sign up, the link will be live soon on the icfcolorado.org website. So go to the events tab there, and hopefully we'll see you then. Thank you
Yeah.
so much. Thanks,
Hope to see you
Christine.
there. Thank you, Barbara.